All right, let's take a look at the Native American lesson plan and micro-teaching experience. I'll be upfront with you. You are going to get full points on this unless you really mess it up. But the goal of this is to have the experience of putting together a lesson and then teaching it to an audience. So do not worry too much about the form. You are creating a lesson. Now, you will design a lesson. And when I say lesson, it could be a presentation, but it's a lesson for college graduate students, all right? So in your teaching group, and here are your teaching groups, you can choose these areas. Find an area that interests you. And in your group, as long as there are different topics, 2 or more people can create a lesson within the same area. For example, in your group, if 2 people really liked American Indian music and dance, as long as you have different topics related to that, you are creating a lesson, not on the whole history of dance, but just a little snippet of that, a bite size. So part of you is going to have to say, what can I present to my group in no more than 10 minutes? It should be 5 to 9 minutes. You're going to create a lesson plan first, and here's a general structure. I'm not going to get too upset if you try to make it this your own. Later on in the program, other professors may have more specific lesson plan formats, but this is the general format, and we'll talk about this in my book a little bit later on. But this is a structure you may want to use, and I have the criterion here, but again, you can ignore that if you want. If you do the experience with integrity, you're going to get the full points here. The purpose of this is to have the experience. All right, you've got a curriculum. Use that as the basis, but you will probably have to get more information on this, okay? So just like in real life, you're given a teacher's curriculum. This is what you teach, a teacher's manual, but more often than not, you have to add information to that. So go ahead and use the internet or other sources to get more information. You're creating a lesson for the members of your group. You're going to teach it online to your group. So you create the lesson plan, you put the lesson plan in the Dropbox, and then you create an online teaching lesson, micro-teaching, where you actually teach it. So you use PowerPoint, and I'll show you some examples, and you can use either a voiceover or put your picture in the corner just like I do. You'll be preparing that type of lesson or presentation, providing information to the people in your group. You will drop the URL link, so in a online discussion format, and your people in your group will look at just your lesson. All right, they will be looking just at the lessons. You can look at everyone else's if you want, but just your lesson, and I'll provide you some examples of these in just a minute. So you're creating this presentation lesson. Afterwards, then you'll do a reflective analysis, and the reflective analysis is simply looking for 2 things the person did well and 2 things they could add or change or maybe do differently. That is a reflective analysis. You do one of those for each person in your group, send that reflective analysis to the person, copy and paste what you sent them, put it on a Word document, do a reflective analysis of your own lesson as well. That's the reflective analysis you put in the Dropbox. I don't care what other people say about your lesson. I care about what you say about theirs. That is a reflective analysis. So, again, in your group, you're going to decide on these areas in which you'd like to create a lesson. And again, the lesson, you're not going to do all of gaming or all of treaties. You're going to find just a little bit of that. What you don't include is just as important as what you do. Just a little bit of that. Synthesize it to create a lesson, a teaching experience. That's 5 to 8 minutes, no more than 10 minutes in duration. Just like I present lessons to you, you will be doing the same thing. Okay, hopefully that's clear. If not, ask me questions, and we do have a Zoom discussion in which I can answer these questions.